Yeah, and I can't believe that of all those list of casters that I read out, I missed one. And I do sincerely apologise to Super Twin Top Gas. Can we have you into the pairing lanes as well? So Super Twin Top Gas is a class that I missed out from that list of names. Daryl's just put the headsets on.
I know, my ears have frozen again just as I've done it, to be honest. It's my own fault for wandering off, but there we are. They'll warm up again shortly. So I think we've got Sportsman ET qualifying coming up first. We've got the VWs, Hutchinson and Dibley Sportsman ET, actually it is for this year, isn't it?
Correct title. And you see Andy Dibley, Sportsman ET champion, and twice in a row now for Andy's son, done very, very well indeed. And he will be in the first pair, probably going alongside either Clive Dandridge or Holly Sanders. Is Holly double classing? I'm not quite sure if she's in VW Sportsman or if she's in Sportsman ET, as my competitor list disappeared. But they're just getting in their cars, getting ready to go. Start line crew just getting ready to come out. So we'll be continuing with Sportsman ET.
Quite funny, I can see a little girl sitting up here getting a lesson in drag racing from our birthday lad up here.
How old is he today? 8 or 9? I can't remember what.
I don't know. I know the other one's 3 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anyway, it looks like everyone's back on station, including marshals and the ambulance crew and everybody up there at the top end.
Ready to go VW Sportsman, obviously just climbing in as well. I think VW Sportsman will be following Sportsman ET. And they're all sitting in their cars, not too far away. Once again, to the spectators that are here, thank you ever so much indeed for bearing with us. It's been a very, very challenging weekend indeed. The rain has been everything that don't want.
Yeah, pretty much.
Been here this weekend.
Has happened, and thank goodness it's not a 4-day event anymore as well, because the forecast tomorrow is
it's not too clever.
It's not ideal, let's put it that way. So we're on with qualifying in Sportsman ET, Hutchinson and Dibley Sportsman ET.
So first up going to be the Camaro of Andy Dibley, and it is Holly Sanders, of course. She possibly is double classing this weekend in VW Sportsman and, of course, Sportsman ET. Darling class.
Welcome back to Pod Raceway for the Festival of Power 2018. We're into qualifying round number 1 for Sportsman ET, and then we've got VW Sportsman after and a couple of the bike classes. We'll be back to you with more details, but in the meanwhile, let's head trackside and check out qualifying.
Liked it so much he sponsored the class. Yeah, you spotted that right, Colin. 2 class champions pairing up here in the first qualifying session.
And the reaction time advantage goes to Andy Dibley only by 0.02 of a second. So no, Andy's had the engine out of the Camaro over the last few months. Goes 13.62 with a 9. Wow, very well judged, Andy Dibley.
Half a second too quick.
To beat with a one-shot qualifier. Goodness me, well done. Holly goes 15.35. She breaks out by half a second, but what a run for Andy Dibley. All right, Clive Dandridge with the Mustang. Dials in 13.85, capable of running that all day long if he gets the tune up absolutely done. I know that is the case for everybody, but that's probably where that car is, 13.85. Has had quite a few runs on this track actually. Done the Run What You Brung last weekend. Got lots of runs in, and he was one of the few that on the Sunday morning did about 7 or 8 runs. I think hot lapped it. Very well.
Hopefully, hoping to do that again today.
Yeah. Against Georgina Smith, the Audi GA4 GLA Racing, dial in 17.10. Oh, 008.
I'll tell you
right
what, they're
there
on
for
the ball
Clive.
this afternoon. I think it's that 3 days of waiting around.
Yeah.
And finally, let's do it.
So Clive buries his right foot in the carpet, looking for 1385, 1371. Wow.
A bit too quick and a bit too quick, both of them.
I
Again,
think that is Clive's quickest ever in that car. I don't think he's gone 1371 before, but he'll be frustrated yet delighted at the same time there. Georgina goes 1691 at 82 mile an hour. Breakout for her as well.
oh, Jack Petley with the Camaro 1275
With a super cool number plate, V8 CHV.
V8 Chav.
Chef.
Sorry, beg your pardon.
Stupid boy.
I've actually got a number plate in my garage wall at home. It's not my number plate, but it was off of a very cool pickup truck, and it's actually V8 HMY, which I quite like that one.
Yeah. So I'll turn around and say V8 Hammy, is it?
Yeah,
right,
Hammy.
lots of wheel spin there for Jack.
1275 is a very rapid street car as well.
It is actually, yeah. It's going to be probably a 15 or 14. 1432, 102 there for Jack.
He is qualified, as always. That's the most important thing. Now that's the car you need in a street car class, isn't it? My goodness me,
I'm
that
liking
looks like a bullet sitting still. That does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Aston Martin.
I'm not even going to try and guess, mate.
We like it. Dials in 12.9 and crosses out the number plates. I like that.
Yeah, bear in mind that that's slower than that Mustang there tomorrow. That just went up the
Dave
racetrack.
Nickel. Oh,
What a car, though.
yeah.
Hang on, that says it's a Corvette.
Nice.
That's not a Corvette.
It's a cunningly disguised Corvette for one of Newport Pagnell's finest.
I don't want to say it out loud,
he's
but
got it
that's how slow a supercar looks compared to everything else, folks.
Good breakout, I think he will. Oh, 1331 at 112. That sounded and looked faster.
Sounded nice.
Yeah,
Definitely.
very impressive run there. We like that. Bring it back. Right, flick, as we affectionately know her as. This is Felicity Gibbs. Little Miss Rampage, the Mustang. Just a little bit of a clean up in the water lane, so we're just down to one lane just for a few moments. So Felicity looking for 17.10. All chasing Andy Dibley at the moment. (17.17), very nice, into the number 2 spot there for Felicity Gibbs.
So Mark Hutchley with the Comet.
Part of the Dark Horse team, of course. Nice looking car, that. 1964 Comet. It's in 14 flat. Sounds lovely.
It's just, do you know something I find really weird? Is I'm so used to seeing a car like that with big fat slicks on the back.
That's
It just
got big
looks a
rims
little odd.
and low profile tyres on it.
Yeah,
so,
it just looks a little odd to see it on big rims and low profile tyres.
Well, we all thought he was going to wheel spin, but he's got to go. mile an hour to the 8th. Turns it into a 1570 at 94 at the stripe. Right, young Steve Cherrick going alongside Janet Lawson next. BMW taking on the Astra, the S-Cargo 2, as Steve affectionately calls the car. Janet Lawson was another one of those paying a good visit to Fueler's Bar last night. Actually, quite a few of them down there last night. Oh, I didn't see that one go through. Adam Charnley with the yeah, right, it's not a Cooper S anymore. He's changed the car. It's to a Crossfire. Going alongside young Steve Cherritt, and he's dialing in. It's going to be a solo, sorry, apologies. 12.85 for Adam Charnley. Had that red Mini Cooper, if you remember, before.
I think that was faster than he's altered, to be honest.
12.78, slight break out there, but a very good run indeed.
Looked like he backed off it a bit before the finish line as well.
Right, now we do have that pairing I mentioned, Janet Lawson and Steve Cherritt. Janet dialing in 15.45, Steve Cherritt dialing in 18 flat.
I wonder what they're crossing out number plates for. Do you think those are husbands or wives' cars that they borrowed, or something like that?
It's the webcam not to catch their number plates.
It's got to be that. I know I did it years ago because it's my company car.
I don't think that.
Like they would have looked at it and not realised anyway. But
yeah, you're just doing publicity for it. 15.45, 15.73 there for Janet, and Steve goes through with a 17.89 breakout on an 18 flat. So nicely judged there for Janet, just a little bit too quick there for Stephen. Spencer Tram with That's Number Wang, the VW Polo that been on quite a few outings up the corner mile here over the years.
You know what? I can't remember the last time I actually saw Spence racing. It's good to see him back actually. More than likely knowing Spence with the radio on in the car.
Yeah, he normally does. He listens to it. Get to his indicator.
Cheers for checking in. We're live and trackside with VW Sportsman coming up next, but currently we're on Sportsman ET in qualifying round number 1. So stay tuned on the live feed here at Santa Pod Raceway and make sure you've hit that subscribe, and we'll keep watching the racing for the rest of the day.
Well, Spence goes red by over a tenth.
Oh, Gemma doing a nice burnout.
Still is actually.
Still is.
Just getting the
Eventually
speed
backs
back
out of
under
it.
control. There we go.
That's what you effectively call a one-wheel peel, though.
Yeah, Spence looking for a 16.20, goes 16.64. Gemma's going to be some way behind that. Yeah, 20.45. That was, like you said, thank God for slip diffs, because otherwise that would have been quite interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So Gemma giving it plenty of right foot there. Chris Barnes, the black and blue Supra, alongside Kirsty Tram, the 50 Shades of Racing Camaro.
Brother and sister in the same class now.
Yeah. I was a bit of a shame they didn't line up next to each other, and then you had the black and blue Supras line up next to each other as well. Yeah. $19.90. No, hang on a minute. It's
$14.90.
$14.90. The scoreboard is just a little bit out. But don't worry, it is $14.90.
Yeah, the scoreboard's reading 14.90. For some reason, sorry, our system is computer's reading 14.90. However, the scoreboard's reading 19.90.
But Kirsty, those are racecrafts. You do not go into pre-stage or stage, because if you do, you accept the number that is on the board. So very good to double check. Kirsty off the line very nice indeed, a 0.4 light there compared to a 0.23 for Chris Barnes. So Kirsty looking for 14.90, gets a 15.50, 15.84 there for Chris. So Chris goes into number 3, Kirsty into number 7. Right, next up is Mustang from Walters Motorsports down there. You can see Pete Walters down on the start line. Elaine Hancock still to come round. Here she comes. I don't know if there's anybody actually below us at the moment. Ah, there it is. Jill Medley with the Mustang running in 12.80. And of course it's Holly Walters behind the wheel on the red Mustang. Darling at 17.70.
Yeah, 5 seconds difference between these two Mustangs. That's a fair chunk of time, considering they're the same brand of car, if you like.
Jill's certainly not afraid of using the right foot in this car, that's for sure. She's a very, very good driver. Came from the Darling Day Hall of Fame, actually won the Darling Day. And part of the prize for that was entry into a national event, which he proceeded to do and did very, very well indeed. Has taken the top step of the podium as well in Sportsman ET.
Well, Holly with a 0.1 red, that was pretty close to be honest with you, and then spun the tyres for the first 60 foot. No such trouble at all for Jill, looking for a 12.80. That's 14.40.
Look quicker actually.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be quicker than that too.
18.27 there for Holly. So Holly goes in at number 10, Jill in at number 10. Elaine Hancock below us, side. Not sure who that is actually. Little Hyundai.
Well, it's good to see lots of new entrants in Sportsman ET. Yeah. Anyway, what we're doing as well is we're just finishing up qualifying for all of these classes, and then we'll be putting them into, pairing them up, running them into eliminations.
18.85 the Darling for the Hyundai. Just waiting for the name to come up on the scoreboard. Oh, John McCarrigal, yes, from Newport. Elaine Hancock, running in 16.38 with the Civic. There we go, we've got loads of bike classes in the lanes that come down. That's of course is Super Twin Top Gas, 850 bike, 950 bike, and ET bike, they're all there as well. VW Sportsman are in the lanes as well, and that's VW Sportsman.
Our next, I think.
Come round, yeah. So this is the last pair in Sportsman ET, and then it will be VW Sportsman. Well, it's going to take a pretty much bang-on run to take the number 1 spot here from Andy Dibley, but Elaine certainly capable of doing that. She's got the car to do it as well. Be interesting to see how John gets on with his first running competition with the Hyundai, Darling in 18.85.
Very good light visibly there from Elaine Hancock.
Literally as the last amber came on, so she crossed the line when it went green.
Yeah, it's a very different starting procedure when you've got a street car effectively.
16.55 there for Elaine, and 18.78 breakout there for John. So that is a wrap for Sportsman ET, and it's Andy Dibley that takes the number 1 spot. Right, next up, VW Sportsman. Loddy on the number plate of the Seat. Wait for the caddy to make its appearance from underneath the tower, having done its burnout. Front wheel drive, so put the handbrake on, acts as a line lock. It's in a 16 flat. The Volkswagen Drag Racing Club celebrating over 30 years of drag racing these days. So it's Rick Carvalho from London against Lee Chisholm Brown from Corby. Well, lots of black smoke from the Ibiza. I'm hoping that's a diesel making all that smoke, not a very poor petrol engine. 1350 goes 1583, and Lee goes at 1668 on a 16 flat diamond. Right, Scott Mills with Gwyn, the Seat. I had a chat with Scott actually up in scrutineering a few days ago it was now, and he was telling me it's still a 2-litre engine in that car, but when he eventually gave it a sniff of nitrous, he thought, oh, I might go in the 14s, and that ended up going in the high 13s, and he's constantly worked on it, now got it a dial in a 13 flat, so very, very quick car indeed. Alongside Paul Day, dialing in 14 flat with the Golf. Don't worry, it's not a 19, it's a 14. Scoreboard's got a bit of number dyslexia going on today. Almost identical reaction times between them. And a 12.92, massive breakout there for Paul Day. 13.75 on the right side for the red Ibiza. Alright, Paul Sarich up next with the Golf, going alongside John Crawford, the engine carbon clean Golf.
Looks like Paul's having his strap adjusted. Or neck brace, I beg your pardon, I think that was. And John Crawford dials a 15.30 with the engine carbon clean Golf. Yeah, 15.30 in the auto glim lane is what he's looking for.
Okay, bring him forward then. So both of these guys are capable of taking the number 1 spot here. Plenty of room at the top of the pile of qualifying numbers at the moment. But that's the thing with one-shot qualifying, you've got time to tune every single run to absolutely perfect. You've got one go at it.
Well, a 064 light will certainly help on race day, and today is race day, let's face it. 15.30, 16.07 and 16.36. Huge breakout for Paul. In the other direction, definitely for Mr. Crawford. I know that there's lots of new stuff on lots of these cars as well, so that was very much a sort of licked finger in the air job, that one, wasn't it?
That looks rather rapid. 13.35.
That is very quick for that style of vehicle, I think, is the phrase, isn't it, really?
It's the T2 bay window alongside Polly Judge. What a great chat with Polly in Fuelers Bar last night, actually. Polly lived around the corner from me in Toaster, actually.
Is that why she moved?
Huh?
Is that why she moved?
Well, she didn't realise that I lived in Houston till I think it was late last year, actually.
Yeah, 69 light for Polly. Jason Tennant with backing off noticeably at the top end. Yeah, 1545 and a 1580 for Polly goes up. So into the number 1 spot.
Yeah, very nicely done indeed. 1500ths off Darling. Jason was actually on a pretty decent run, actually, but as you say, 73.35 mile out of the 8th and 73.58 at the quarter.
Consistent then.
Yeah. All right, Martin Ayton, Homer's back up. We haven't seen Homer's Revenge in Sirocco for. He's always had a backup car. He hasn't brought the actual the Sirocco out for ages. And Laurie Anslow with the Lady Baja, normally the Beetle, but
She
not quite there.
Oh, there. Yes, beg your
Yeah,
pardon.
she's down there. She's in the Skoda Octavia. Big shout out to Jason down there.
Very good afternoon, sir. Loving the beard. And also, I just want to say thanks to, it was last year, but I love the name, Lady Baja.
Yeah.
And Jason very kindly came up and gave us a couple of stickers, which now adorn my little girl's balance bike and a couple of other things in the house. So, yeah, they went down very well. Ian going around the garden with it. Apparently Ian's back garden is immaculate. He practices going around the patio, burning all the weeds out.
Yeah.
So yeah, Larry Ainslow and Martin Ayton.
Darlin's at 17.80 against 16.50. Martin may have flinched there, actually. So both of them in backup cars this weekend, as their main race car is not available, or not ready, I should say, for this weekend. 1806 and a 1780 puts Larry into the number 2 spot there. So nice one there, Larry. 1786 for Martin. Well, that must be the Stigwan. Russ Weir. Well, again, he's in the backup car. The shifting gear, the Carman gear that Russ normally runs, not quite ready yet, so it's back in the Stigwan. Up alongside Simon Blackburn, the Monster Leon. Dialing in 13.30. And Russ dialing in 17.6. By the way, he's done the Monster Leon logo on the back there. He's used the S of the Seat badge as the S for Monster. Very good indeed. Actually looks pretty good.
I don't know why they didn't think of that themselves, to be honest with you.
Actually,
My goodness.
the Darling 1330 pretty quick for.
You see what's around next? Look at that.
Leon.
Yeah, I know. That's what I
I
thought.
like it.
Something doesn't sound well. Or maybe it's supposed to sound like that, I don't know. 1330, it won't be a 1330. It's 1618, 89 miles an hour for Simon Blackburn.
Yeah, P, potential with a capital P there, I think, for Simon.
Well, we've got loads of bikes. We've got Junior Dragster round for round 1.
What are we doing here? I'm just trying to work a slick camera at the moment to show you how it works. Interesting. So what happens is, oh, there's no car. Hang on. So what happens is the lens goes that way. Then like
So Russ Weir just waiting
show you in a second. Oh, okay.
to come forward to complete his run.
Well, I'm just rebuilding an old film camera to do the same thing, but I thought I'd try this first. Oh, brilliant. I get bored easily, as you all know. Well, it's good to mix it up a bit.
Okay, so Russ goes alongside Joshua Simpson, one of the militia team, a new addition to the militia team this Sirocco.
It looks like a bullet, that thing, doesn't it?
It looks like quite
Well, a camouflage bullet.
Yeah.
Badly camouflaged. You'd see that in a bush, wouldn't you?
Right, Russ, we're dialing in 17.6. Joshua dialing in 15 flat. Double 02 reaction time there for Russ Weir.
I was going to say Russ knows what he's doing anyway.
Yeah.
Brake lights coming on the top end, 16.36, number 7 for Josh Simpson. Russ Weir goes into number 3 with a 17.94 and a 17.60. Last pair on 2 wheels for a moment. I think then we're moving into 950 bike.
Yeah, don't take that van lightly. That is seriously quick.
It's the Hoosier slick on the front that gives that away a bit, doesn't it? To be honest, I love subtle when people do subtle things like that. They just extend the bonnet slightly so the lights look a little more evil. If you know what I mean, it just gives it that slightly meaner look. It's a very subtle change, but very good.
He's got racing harnesses in there and everything. You can see that through the window. Yeah, I feel I called him out with my combi. I think he'll be a lot quicker. But as you say, Dale, the Hoosier slick on the racing tire on the front, I should say, bit of a giveaway. So last pair in VW Sportsman. And of course Holly Sanders down for her run in VW Sportsman. She already put her qualifying run in Sportsman ET.
Most unfair people texting me to say they're already in the pub at 2 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon.
Everyone's down here, everyone's that close it was. Very frustrating weekend. Got a t-shirt. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's no good at all. This track, I don't know what they're going to do. They just need to get bumper on it. Need to get a bit of heat in it.
Well, they've switched the fans off at the top there. They've tethered the blades so that they are at what we call a horizontal plane, so the turbine's not rotating at the moment. So the National Grid obviously got enough power in it at the moment, but when those energy levels drop, then they tether the blades the other way and the turbines start rotating to make power. But when the National Grid is full, or it has sufficient power for the demand, then the wind turbine's not required, so to say, for the mechanisms and the bearings and everything.
that why she moved? Is that why she moved? For a moment, we're moving into. That's what you were doing.
Yeah, you're
getting excited already.
Well, whilst a bit of stadium's going on there, Darryl, I haven't got many left actually, but the old memories of 10 years of commentary. Well, this is the one that you and I discussed over the phone. Well, I mentioned it to you when I sort of came up with this idea, and of course I had to ask you who it was because I couldn't remember the rider's name, but it was Robert Carlson when he got a little bit out of shape on the bike.
A little bit.
Literally, as he went down the centre line and was almost kicking the blocks out of the way as he was going down, and there was a cry from the tower, "My blocks!" And I think that's when Pippi and I basically lost it in the tower.
Something like that. Well, the thing was is that what he did was he did a really good job of hitting every single one, despite trying to avoid them all.
Yeah,
didn't he?
yeah.
He got the lot. Robert did. He turned up a couple of years later with all his kids riding his bikes instead. We won't say it quite like that. I'm just kidding. Robert's a very, very good rider.
Yeah,
very, very good rider. It was just one of those things, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think there is a photograph somebody took in the tower of Pippi with his head buried in his hand on the desk here, and you were the only one that we just carried on, but Pippi and I just totally lost it.
Someone has to hold it together, don't they? we all take it in turns. It's never Pippi who actually holds it together.
Yeah, but that was certainly one of those memories that, well, it was just one of those crazy incidents, it really was. Which leaves me with I've only got two left actually. Hang on a sec. Yeah, nice. Sharon was the timekeeper on that day actually, and it was we believe it was Sharon that shouted out my blocks when Robert Carlson was kicking them all out of the way. Yeah, so that was one of those crazy moments. As I say, I've only got two left. So
I've got one left. No, I've got one left.
And
I'm only joking. I actually
we'll save the last two for a little bit later on.
So just a little bit of track prep before the bikes. Needless to say. Once again, thank you everybody out there for bearing with us over the last 3 days. It's been trying, to say the very, very least. Don't worry, summer's nearly here. It'll be warm, it'll be sunny, it'll be quick very soon. And, well, it's a new racetrack, goes without saying. So getting the rubber down, getting everything in tip-top shape. Obviously, it's no secret that there are a whole load of cars that made it down the racetrack in fine fashion earlier today. But obviously, as sometimes happens when the weather is cold, things didn't go quite so good for a couple of our races, Nigel Green and Jack Brewster. We understand that they're both pretty much okay. Jack actually got taken to hospital, I think, for some tests, but he had complaining of a bit of back pain, but he actually, most important thing was he got out of the car and walked to the ambulance himself. That's always a good sign. Anyway, hope both of the cars aren't too badly damaged. And anyway, yeah, that's why the track crew never stop working on the racetrack here. You'll see them do it here at every event. It's not any different, is it really? No matter what it is, it always has to be in the very best condition, very safest condition as well. We're out there trying to do it at the moment. So anyway, we've got a few moments again before we get into 9:55 qualifying, I think. Normally the best way to make sure you hear engines is to head back to Nitro FM.
Don't forget live action arena in 23 minutes.
That's it, and I think the circus is on now.
It is, yeah. So Nitro FM 96.2 had some really good music for us this weekend. I wonder what they've got lined up for us next.
Live race commentary sponsored by the Dark Revenger.
You have to trust your mechanic, and your mechanic has to trust his tools. For nearly 100 years, Draper has supplied quality tools and accessories to the professional mechanic. From visit Draper.co.uk for the full picture and win 2 tickets for a return visit to the college, courtesy of Draper Tools.
Hi, this is your Auto Home Car Care Clinic. Ever wondered how some other cars always look extra clean and shiny? Chances are your enthusiastic owners treat their car to a regular dose of Auto Vin, your award-winning, easy-to-use car care product range. Join
978, 9. Very good indeed. Well, of course, actually coming in there to so he guys in 905, 990. It's only one shot qualifier. Let's see what they can do for us. Our first bikes taking part in competition here on our new concrete raceway. Well, big wheel spin for Craig, but Lewis is back to elephant, actually. Right, can we have Sportsman ET into the pairing lanes, please? Sportsman ET. And we're having a bit of a special treat coming up as well, actually, so we'll watch out for that one. Leo Lester, Section 59 Racing Yamaha, going alongside Dave Bowe, Team Bowe Suzuki. Both of these bikes got off the line well. A little bit of wheel spin for Leo, but gathered it up. 10:07, 116 there for Dave. Leo goes 11:23, backs out of it at fourth stride. Rick Sawatsky. And alongside Stacey Reed. Storming run there for Rich Sawatsky. 9:73, 138 miles an hour. Stacey goes through, gets the number on the board, 13:40 at 1:08. Right, so Phil Harrison just bringing the bike up to the line. Just making sure he gets a number on the board there, get him into the qualified order. On to 850 bike now. That is the very distinctive pair of riders, actually. Jay Rowe alongside Ian Critchlow. Fantastic video clip on Santapod own page on the internet of Ian Critchlow. The camera angle looks like he was actually riding the wall. Very, very clever piece of editing. Cracking runs for these two. 8:52 for Ian Critchlow, 161 miles an hour, arrow straight, hooked up and went. 8:67 there for Jay Rowe, but cracking run for Ian. Just 0.02 of a second off their class index there. Right, Jake Michelle is the number one with pride on the bike, courtesy of championship win last year, going along and saying against Yannick Rickard. Different bike for Yannick that we normally see him on. and we got 850 this weekend. Well, Jake certainly got some traction off the line there. Front wheel came up, got it back down, and off he goes. 854, and that is with a wheel stand as well. He was pulling some power there. Yannick goes through with a 10:13, 130, but cracking run there for Jake. Speed as well, 163, but considering he had to 2 goes at the throttle to get the bike to settle down, that was a very good run indeed. All right, Josh Stubbins then on the ProTech Suzuki. Too much power for the track there. It certainly gave it a good go. Still going for it. Goes 989, 155 mile an hour, still picking up speed at the top end. But basically lost about a second in wheel spin. Right, on to ET Bike then. So Bradley Head then. Rolls in a 10 flat. Goes 1209. Super Twin Top Gas. Jack shook. Nice arrow straight run there for Jack. Goes 10:06, 130 mile an hour. Nicely done, sir.
Only Mike in Super Twin Top Gas. Okay, we've got, I must admit, a little bit of a surprise, to be honest with you. Round behind the tower, his first ride on a nitro-fueled top fuel bike. Man who was a spinner star of YouTube for many years for his antics. Philippos Papaphilippou from Greece on the former Ian King top fuel bike. Great to see this bike back in the UK. This is going to be one of the weirdest things in the world for Ian. He's standing there watching all of his crew and his bike, and he's not on it. Now I'm pretty sure this is just a familiarisation run for...
Apparently just a burnout, just to put rubber on the line and get Phil to get used to the bike.
Get used to the bike, fair enough, yeah. I was just going to say, familiarisation all round really. I mean, Phil's been up this racetrack many, many times in the 6 second zone as well with his very own Pro Mod bike. Getting used to throttle response and everything else as well on a fuel bike. Just about every person that's on a racing bike this weekend stood behind there watching. No pressure, eh, Phil? Seemed okay. But he does seem to be coming back again. Races do have this thing, what's known as, did you know, it is a real thing, it's called go fever. Is that no matter what's happening, you just want to get on with it. They're just pushing him back off the racing line, as you said.
Yeah, do another one.
Do another one?
I think so.
Fair enough then. Well, the thing is, there's no greater time to practice.
I was advised, so could be wrong, but let's see. Oh no, shut it off. They needing it out? He was needing it out, yeah. So that was a burnout familiarisation there for Fastfield, and expecting big things from Phil as the season progresses.
As the season progresses, that's the thing though. I was talking to Ian the other day and he was saying that, you know, it's a whole different animal. It's, yeah, okay, he's been 6 seconds on a bike before, but those things are completely different. And I remember there's so many bike riders that are just cooler than Penguin P, but Rickard Gustafsson springs to mind. 12 years ago, I think, maybe plus, the first time he got on funny bike. He didn't have a great start actually that year, came to Santa Pod and didn't qualify. However, he then went to Finland and he won the event. And I was fortunate, sorry, it must have been 2006 when he started. I was fortunate enough to be at the top end just as he came around the corner, and he made his first 6-second run, won the event, and it just looked like someone needed to hand him a cup of tea. He was just so unfazed by the whole experience.
Oh, big wheel spin for Craig, but
Thomas Cook-Abbott with a great effort, 00 light to qualify number 1.
yeah, 006. Dials in 840. Oh,
002? My goodness me, that boy's had his Weetabix this morning.
Wow. And 861. Wow. He's a tough one to watch. Well, he was number 2 in the championship last year.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah.
Now, Sky Collier, who's coming up next, I know she red lit in qualifying earlier today. Dials an 8 flat with the Collier family's junior. It's really cool as well. I mean, Jerry said to me that about the design of the car. It's very much taken from the design of all Jerry's bikes over the years. But I said that looks pretty cool. He said, yeah, the kids designed it, which I always think is quite funny, isn't it? Kids designing race cars. You expect them to turn up with loads of extra fins and wings and all sorts of kids design them. Up against Freddie Taylor. These are numbers 10 and 20 qualifiers. Good luck to both of them. This is the first elimination race of the season. It's going to be Sky going through. Thankfully has red lit. No matter what Sky Collier does, she'll be moving on to round 2. There we go, 904, but she gets the win light. Backs off the top end.
Alright, next up, Matthew Dowdy taking on the Odyssey Batteries machine. 885 darling. brand new car, don't forget, for Matthew Dowdy.
Yeah, that was an 04 red as well for Frankie that time, round 0.15 Sky. Yeah, that car, Matthew, you actually pointed that out. I didn't even know it was a new car. It just looks like a revamped version of the previous, but all good.
Yeah, he's a tall lad, is Matthew. Came from half scale, I think.
Well, you don't need to be told that that was a good reaction time. You can just see it. Auto Clip Lane should take the win, and does. Double breakout though. My goodness me.
Yeah, that's a big breakout.
There's a big breakout by both of them though. Harry went way too quick.
And I've heard Matthew feathering the throttle as well, and he's still breakout. He takes on Sky Collier in round 2. So Frankie Fordham up next.
Taking on Luke Mugridge.
So Frankie Fordham with the Zero Limits Dragster, nice new scheme on the car this year. And Luke Mugridge debuted the dinosaur scheme on the car last season. Mugridge unfortunately went red, so the automatic win going to Frankie Fordham, goes 9.22.
That was a 0-2. Actually, he was red in, I think he was red in qualifying as well, wasn't he? It wasn't just there. Yeah. So, previous number 1 bad. Coming up next, where's the 3 on the car this year? That is young Jordan Payne in the coal-fire lane, dialing 800. Up against another new name for me, actually, Tom Kay.
Yeah, he's new.
Black Belt Racing Dragster from Blackburn.
The crew chief isn't though. It's Pete Kellett.
He's been around a while.
He knows his stuff.
It's funny, isn't it? You wear ear protectors most days to protect your ears. Today it's to keep your ears warm, isn't it? You're very things like that and fire suits. You're very glad on days like today you're wearing them.
Yeah. So 8 flat dialing for Jordan. Tom Kay dials in 8.37.
That was a very polite reaction time from somebody. I think I don't even need to tell you who it was actually. You don't say reaction times when we get to racing. Jordan Payne, 8.10 on an 8 flat breakout for Tom Kay. And it was a 0.4 light for Jordan and a 0.29 for Tom Kay. His first racing effort though.
Well, Jordan will be taking on Frankie Fordham in round 2. Right, next up it's young Mr. Taylor in the Banshee Junior machine. Airbrush work on that is phenomenal, actually, really work of art. Dials in 8.38.
Well, problems underneath us, I think, for
Liam. Oh, other way up. Come on, lead out, Wes. 12.58 for young Liam.
Funny, isn't it? You wait around for 3 days and all of a sudden when you start racing everything's a mad rush, isn't it? And that's unfortunately what poor old Liam had that time round. His dad must be frozen out there though, to be honest with you. It's all very well wearing the team shirt, but my goodness, anyone would give you a day off on a day like today. Well, Liam's off and running. Sitting there for quite a while is Frankie Taylor. Well, Frankie gets a green light. This is going to be a good old racer who gets there first without going too quick. The answer is not Frankie. He breaks out. It's Liam McDonald who goes through to round 2. Well, that was a rough one. A couple of hundreds difference on the start line in reaction time, but the breakout at the top end, they all shake hands. They're all good friends, and just one of those things I think for the Taylors there. Very sporting as well for the Taylors to be waiting for Liam all the time there. Didn't pay off for him that time round. Well, it looks like Harley's car has died down here on the start line.
Taking on Caitlin Deavy.
With Tyler out front directing traffic, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is.
Don't know since he was in Junior Dragster actually, was it, Tyler? So Harley off and running out there in front. Can Caitlin run him down? I think she's just about there already. But it's gonna be Harley through to round 2. 10:36 on the 25 takes out Caitlin's 8:54. Quite a way off for Caitlin actually, nearly half a second in it at the finish line. Once again, lots of handshaking going on, and sadly that gnome called Mr. Deavy we won't be seeing again.
Right, Caitlin Wilson against Jacqueline Callan.
Have you noticed one's called Callan, one's called Bartlett? There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway. I think I read on Euro Dragster they are hyphenated.
So Darling's at 13:35.
I think this is Jacqueline's first ever race as well,
yeah.
actually. Yep, 13:35, so she's going to get over a 5-second head start over Caitlin. Oh no, Jacqueline goes red in her first ever race, unfortunately, deep staged. It's one of those things, the win light goes to Caitlin Wilson.
.8:14, 8:07, that's tough to beat as well. But it is Caitlin that goes through. Right, just one more pair to go.
Yeah, she kept it floored all the way through as well, went 82 miles an hour.
Oh no, sorry, apologies, 2 pairs. This is Joe Hollandvilla. And you see the colour scheme on the other drag?
Yeah, it is the same, isn't
Very
it?
good
You're right.
indeed, yeah.
You're dead right, mate.
3 seconds. Lara Bartlett, of course. We do have 2 more pairs.
And her big sister's sitting up there as well, actually. Sitting up there watching. Too old for junior dragsters now. Whatever it is she's thinking, that's a good thing or a bad thing at the moment. Well, green light for Lara. Green light for Joe. Don't forget they race to the 8th mile. Oh, Lara goes way too quick. She was off the start line first. Only just, but she was off the start line first.
Like a 0.6 light, so she'll be pleased with the reaction time.
That's a massive breakout though, over a quarter of a second. 8:22 on an 8:15. For Joe Hollandvilla though. Archie Ray in the shocker. Beautifully, beautifully turned out, junior dragster.
Lottie Bradford with the Prison Paintworks dragster. Qualified the number 13 spot, but she qualified number 3. Don't forget it was a one-shot qualifier. She off and running. Lottie in chase mode. Now, can she catch him? Can she go past? Will she break out?
I think he's there.
I think
Archie's done it,
oh,
but he's broken out.
Archie wrote too quick. He had a 0-3
Oh,
light against
they're going to cry when they
1.26.
see the timing ticket as well. He was there over half a second in front of Lottie Bradford. He could have afforded to back off just half a tenth, which was all he needed, but it will be Lottie moving on to round 2.
Right, this is the last pair. This is Holly Marshall taking on Daniel Weir. Right, Darlene's then a 790 for Holly and 9.85 for Daniel. 1.95 second head start to Daniel.
Yeah, and that's the silencer on Holly's car as well. I haven't seen one of those yet.
I'm not 100% certain, but I think they're mandatory next year.
I thought I actually had an idea they were this year. Daniel goes red by 0.3. Holly with the 0.2 green.
Well, Holly's gone sailing past. Already in that track. Already got the win.
Yeah, 8 flat, 80 miles an hour. No issue whatsoever. Daniel Weir, though, on and off the throttle. And a 0.3 light. Unfortunately, it was a red one.
Not only that, Holly Marshall gets a bye in the next round. So it's worth 2.
The way it shakes out sometimes, isn't it, eh?
So that's a wrap for Junior Dragster round 1. Pairings for round 2. Thomas Cook Abbott will be taking on Joe Holland-Villa. Jordan Payne will get Frankie Fordham. Holly, as we mentioned, gets a bye. Matthew Dowdy takes on Sky Collier. Lottie Bradford gets Harley Corsell. Caitlin Wilson takes on Liam McDonald. Right, this is the Sportsman ET. The Hutchinson and Dibley Sports ET. Number 1 qualifier, Andy Dibley, gets a bye into round 2. Don't forget, he was bang on his darling, actually. He went 13.62 with a 9 on a 13.62. Squeaker of an adjustment to 13.61 this time round. Only time I'm going to read out his reaction time, because it's not anybody in another lane. It was 0.1035.
It wasn't. He was better than that in qualifying, actually. However, he's got the green light. That's all that matters, I think.
Goes 13.64 with a 9. So Andy Dibley safely through into round 2. Live action arena. You can see bikes flying up in the air over increased height. Spectator banking.
Right, Clive Dandridge.
Taking on Holly Walters. Clive qualified in the number 17 spot. Holly in the number 8.
Breakout run, I think, as well, wasn't it, from Clive? His quickest
yes.
run ever. 13.89, so 17.73. Holly with the Mustang in the Auto Glen lane is going to get the head start. Actually, it's the only thing from the live action arena we can see apart from a bit of smoke, isn't it?
Well, sometimes see Tony with Swamp Thing when he goes completely airborne, you get to see the monster, and also Podzilla as well. We sometimes catch a sight of that.
So Holly off and running very nicely indeed. Clive Dandridge goes red. It will be Holly Walters through. Great reaction time for Holly though. It would have been tough for Clive to get round her.
Yeah. I think he probably will get round, but unfortunately.
Oh no!
89 as well. Oh no!
Oh dear! Keep
What's
him
the
away
phrase?
from sharp objects.
That's it.
He was there actually by nearly 2 tenths.
Yeah. But the red light, no good. 15.75. Darling for Gemma Hale. And I can't believe this. It's the teammates pairing up in round 1. Chris Barnes and Gemma Hale. Oh, bragging rights at home tonight. Goodness me.
So blue car or black car, pick 'em. There's only 500ths difference in their dial-ins as well, just to make life even more interesting.
There's got to be a side bet going on in this race. There's got to be something at stake, like housework for a month or So there's gotta be
I'd
something
actually
on
hate to think what it is.
Yeah, I think Ian's just spotted it as well, actually.
So going 5x500s will be Gemma in the blue Supra. There aren't many Supras left, and we're pairing up two of them this morning, or this afternoon, sorry.
So the two black and blue teammates. Well, I know it's going to be favouring now. Well, let's see how this one turns out.
It looks from here like Gemma's actually in front. However, she was, but she went way too quick.
Only by less than 200s. But
Well, a couple of tenths on the tree went to Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gemma was quicker at every increment. She was actually there first, but she broke out. If she'd just slowed down a couple of hundreds, she would have taken that win. Anyway, housework for a month, I think.
Yeah.
Goes to Gemma. Right, Jack Petley and Holly Saunders.
She'll probably say no shows there. Knowing Chris.
Yeah, Jack Petley with that very nicely turned out Camaro.
Yeah, and he's wound the dial in way back. I don't blame him. And that's fact. It's a heads-up race, 15:35.
That's probably why he's done it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just going to use Holly as a pacemaker, so to speak.
Off the gas virtually.
Yeah, already.
Completely.
He's probably going to take the finish line first. And he does, and he wins.
Oh,
because
Holly
actually, I beg your pardon, Holly was over the stripe first by 100th of a second.
Yeah.
Great reaction time, though. 0-2 for Jack, and Holly with an 0-8. Neither of them were hanging about.
Yeah. Very, very experienced racer there, Jack.
Yeah, both of them doing very well indeed. Okay, up next, Adam Charnley with the... that's not a Cooper, is it?
Nah, that's a
That's a Chrysler Crossfire, isn't it? Yeah. 12.85 is Adam's dial-in, and up against Janet Lawson, 15.75. So 1, 2, 3 seconds advantage to the little BMW.
Janet was creeping then, but got it away well in the end. Adam Charnley in chase mode.
Now, Adam ran quicker than this qualifying earlier, so I can only think he's going to try and catch Janet and then back off just before the finish line. However, I don't think he's got there yet. Brakes on.
Oh, he just takes it. Whoa.
Perfectly judged.
Margin 0.04 of a second.
Well, he was 200ths quicker on the tree and a couple of hundreds quicker on the quarter mile as well.
Very nicely judged. 12.92 on a 12.85.
That's how you do bracket racing, folks. All right, next pair being called forward.
We like this. Dave Nicol with the Aston taking on the Hyundai. When do you ever see an Aston Martin taking on a Hyundai i20?
Unless
Anywhere? Here.
Do you know what? I agree. However, I'm looking at that number plate, and that looks like a very German number plate. Is it not?
Yeah.
Maybe it's one of those pseudo-German number plates.
I think so.
Who knows?
I can't.
Why would you put a German number plate on an Aston if you didn't have to do that? Anyway, I'm not.
I think it's a left. I think it's a left hooker. So.
It is as well, yeah. It could be then.
Well, we like it. We do like it. But it's going to be John going off first. There he is. 18.75 in the Hyundai. Now then, 13.10. Oh no, Dave goes red. Oh, frustrated. I was really looking forward to a super close finish line. Like photo finish, if you like. But it is John that's going to get there first. But it's, yeah, well, John takes the win. Felicity Gibbs and Jill Medley, a pair of Mustangs. So Jill Medley dialing in 13.90, Felicity Gibbs dialing in 17.10. So that's out to what, 3.2 second head start to Felicity Gibbs. Flick, very experienced racer. In actual fact, Jill Medley, very experienced as well. These two certainly know how to race in Sportsman ET. Pair of Mustangs, but totally different power outputs. The Little Miss Rampage machine, only a 3.8 litre engine in there. And obviously Jill, the big 5 litre V8 in her Mustang. So Jill in catch-up mode. Jill still chasing, Flick very close to the finish line. Jill looks like she's got there first, but breaks out big time. 13.60 on a 13.90. So it is Felicity Gibbs goes into the next round. Looking to win there. So Jill, game over. And Flick goes into round 2.
Right, just while we got a very quiet moment, just to let everybody know that within the next 10 to 15 minutes, all the jet cars are due round to run here on the Festival of Power Sunday. Going to be putting on their best show possible for you. They've been waiting, like everybody else, to come round for the last few days. Again, just to obviously, while elimination, I don't want to do this while eliminations are going on anyway, but you carry on for a couple of minutes, Colin.
Yeah. Well, we've got some quieter cars coming up. He's just got
Exactly, yeah.
Mark Huxley with the Dark Horse 64 Comet, going alongside Elaine Hancock, number 3 and number 12 qualifiers. Elaine dials in 16.55, Mark dials in 15.30. 1.25 second head start to the Honda Civic. Oh, Elaine.
06 red.
So Mark Huxley into round 2.
Yeah, anyway, just in case you didn't hear me, folks, while we got a brief quiet moment, jet cars in around about 10 to 15 minutes. They're going to be coming around to put on their very best display for you. Like I said, like everyone else, they've been sitting around for the last few days. Oh, what a run to waste as well, Elaine. Unfortunately, look at that, 16.58 and a 55. Mark Huxley broke out, but by then it didn't matter.
Yeah. Next up, Georgina Smith and Kirsty Tram.
I wonder why Tog had been evicted from the tower.
Yeah.
He's evicted himself.
Good friends off the track, actually, these two. But, giving each other the evil eye as they come up to face each other in round 1. Darlings, 15.38 for Kirsty, 16.95 for Georgina.
Again, just in case they have the radios on in the car, because this is broadcast, we can't tell you who left the start line first or second, other than they both have, and they're both very even going towards the finish line. It looks like Georgina's actually out in front. However, the win light goes to Kirsty. My goodness, half a second off dialing as well. That's a bit of a shock. She had the quickest reaction time. That was a win margin of just 0.02 of a second. Okay, up next, Steve Cherrett and Spencer Tram, two more stock appearing looking, I was going to say cars, but it's actually the blokes in them that are stock appearing, really, isn't it? To be honest. Yeah, Spence in the Auto Glim Lane with the Polo, and the Astra for Steve Cherrett from Worcester.
It's actually, in fact, two very, very, very good race car drivers, to be fair. Spencer driven quite a few things. Remember Corrado, the Quantum Leap machine he had quite a few years ago that made its way over to Germany, I think.
I seem to remember Spence built that car just as they kind of announced on Top Gear it was a future classic, but yeah. I'd like a bit of timing, eh?
actually, this is the last pair in Sportsman ET.
Yeah, they've got VWs behind them.
Big show in live action arena at the moment. Lots of,
How
lots of
can you
smoke.
tell?
We can hear it.
Keeping people warm over there, I think, to be honest with you.
Right, we've just got a very, very quiet moment. Don't forget, next weekend is a run with Brung, and it's the Bims Honda Day. The following weekend, Sunday the 15th of April, it is the Fast Show. Performance and modified car scene, a very popular event indeed. It's the GTI Spring Festival on the 22nd of April, and Big Bang, the Camper and Bus Show, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 27th, 28th and 29th of April. You've got the VHRA Vintage Nationals on Sunday, the 6th of May. Nostalgia Nationals, 12th and 13th. And then it's Northern Door Slammers, 19th and 20th of May. And takes us nicely into the main event, May Bank Holiday. So plenty of big events to keep you entertained. And talk about entertaining, Spencer Tram and Steve Cherrett. Up next, 1785, the dial for the Astra. 1655 for Spence Tram. Both of them into pre-stage. Get them into stage. 3 counts them down. Steve goes. Spencer goes. So Spencer Tram, number one, is chasing Stephen down. Looks like Spencer's drawing almost alongside Steve. Finishing line, it is Spencer Tram. He had a 0-1 light there, did Spencer, against Steve's 0.17. And although Steve Cherrett was only 100th off his dial-in, Spencer off the line was shadowing at the top end there. So it is Spencer Tram that takes the win. Right, pairings for round 2 then. Andy Dibley has got John with the Hyundai for company. Chris Barnes will be taking on Kirsty Tram. Felicity Gibbs will be taking on Spencer Tram. Mark Huxley will take on Holly Waters. And Adam Charnley will be taking on Jack with the Camaro. So some interesting matchups in round 2 of Sportsman ET. Next up is VW Sport. Being number 1 qualified, then it is pairs all the way through. 15 cars qualified in VW Sportsman. And don't forget, we do have jets coming down as well. And we'll see first round of eliminations online. Paul Saris then taking on Scott Mills. Scott dialing in 1350, dialing in 13 flat in his qualification run. Paul dialing in 16.30. So 2.8 second head start to Paul. So wait for Scott to go into stage. You can see the big slick sticking out in front of his car there. So Scott in catch-up mode with Redwin. Looks like he's boarded by half track. Oh, and I think that's the engine basically letting go in Scott's car. Well, certainly something has. But it's a 17-18 win there for Paul, and Scott's pulled the car over to the left-hand side. But certainly something went pop. Unfortunately, Scott not even getting across the finish line. Stop the car as quickly as possible. So we're going to have a little bit of a retrieval there for Scott. Well, such a shame actually. I was having a chat with Scott a couple of days ago, and really looking forward to the season, but that wasn't part of his plan whatsoever. So must be very frustrated, Scott Mills, but well done to Paul, who goes into round 2. Like going to be a bit of a retrieval job, I think, for Scott, and obviously there will be a track check as well. So, I wonder if Nitro FM have got any requests lined up, anybody got their tunes in, and well, we're going to find out very, very quickly indeed. Actually, no, hang on a second, I'm just going to double check in with Darryl. So bear with us just for one moment. But lining up in the pairing lanes, we do have our bike classes, which is 950 bike, 850 bike, and of course the rest of the W Sportsmen for their round one eliminations. Okay, so right, okay, Darryl.
Yeah, we are still obviously in the tail. We got them. What happened there then? Just a bit of puff of smoke pulled over.
Scott Bills basically got to half track and the engine or something let go, whether it was a pipe that came off, but lots of white smoke. So unfortunately,
not ideal anyway. Well, up here, well, we got to have a chat on Friday morning, Keith, when all this was brand new. You've had many trying weekends, experiences as a racetrack owner and a promoter. Where does this sit in the in the argument?
Hi there, Luke Stevenson here at Pod Raceway. We're live and trackside in the live action arena. In fact, it's just popped up on my screen. Unfortunately, we've got a little bit of downtime on the track, so let's go and check out what's going on in the live action arena at Pod Raceway. It's better than just looking at an empty track.
Yeah, I think some of those incidents aren't necessarily related to the track today, but what I have said to all the cars this weekend and the bikes, this is a new concrete track that we've had to prep in cold conditions. I said on Friday, this is not ideal conditions to have to prep, and we didn't think this was going to go on for 3 days at this temperature, even though it was advertised. When it actually happens, it gets very difficult, and the problem is you need the warmth on the new virgin track to get the rubber to bond, to key in, and then build on that, and we're not getting that start at all. And the rain certainly hasn't helped for the last few days.
No, definitely not. I mean, you've had a couple of weekends on it, and I know that things were better last weekend when it was warmer.
Yeah, last Sunday afternoon the sun came out, and then the rubber started to go down the track, and we actually got some good runs. We then lost that a bit in the week with rain, and we'd not had the chance to catch up with the preparation. So therefore, we've had to make some decisions. The real high horsepower cars, the Pro Mods, for sure, and some of the classes below that, this track is too cold today to run those cars on. If we were several months ahead with our preparation, or even 3 or 4 weeks with warm weather, I'm sure it would be a very different story.
Well, we've run in cold conditions before with those kind of cars. However, you've never had the convergence of everything at the same time.
We've run in cold conditions on an asphalt track that we know really well, that had really good standard preparation, and the standard we could add to or take off.
Ambient temperature.
And we would have placed the work on. And you'll find that the lower cars, they don't have quite the satisfaction of getting on it. Wow, this is unbelievable.
Well, there's a few personal bests actually in those sessions,
But we need to track to another level for the professional rollers to do that. And that's going to come for sure. But unfortunately, whether it's so cold, they won't even get off the track.
Yeah, to be fair to them, even in the cold conditions,
they don't get down.
They still don't get down.
No.
It's just too difficult to make the. They have a very narrow window with getting the tyre to work with the racetrack and everything.
Very narrow.
Yeah.
And a few years ago, if you went 10, 15 years ago, the setups on those cars, they could adjust the engines. They could tune the engines into a lower track. Today, they're so powerful with such quite complex tune-ups and setups, you can't detune them. No. You can't detune the top fuel cars of today, funny cars and dragsters, cannot be detuned. They need to come onto a good track, a really good track to run.
Which it will be.
Which it will be. So when we want to see the 330 mile an hour runs in 3.9 seconds, you'll get that, but you'll only get that on right conditions. The cars can do it all day long for the...
Only time I'm going to read out potential time because it's not anybody other than him. So 3:35.
There was news about that qualifying actually. However, he's got the green light, that's all that matters. Very nicely indeed, climbed down, just goes for it. Great connection. He's probably going to take the finish line first.
Johnny was creepy there, but got it away well in the end. Adam Charley in chase mode.
Now Adam ran quicker than his qualifying earlier, so I can only think he's going to try and catch Janet and then back off just before the finish.
numbers, great times, but we just can't achieve it.
That's what I mean. Hopefully, a lot of people know by now is that you don't just run the place, but you're a race fan. That's why you do it.
Totally through and through.
Yeah, that's why you do it. That's why you put the events on. That's
I was
why
racing myself. In fact, the way I'm carrying on with the cars I'm buying at the moment.
You might have to.
I might have to. Yeah.
Yeah, well, your kids might end up racing them before you do if you're not careful.
It's
So
heading that way.
fair enough. Well, yeah, like we said, one of the top 3 of the most frustrating weekends we've ever had. However, I think the phrase, the horrible old phrase is, it's always the darkest before the dawn.
I'd like to think so because, as I said in the programme notes and on all the magazines, we've built this concrete track to be a record-breaking track, and that's what it's going to be.
There's every indication it will be. I mean, from all of the, like you said, from all of the some of the lower horsepower door cars, like we said, we've had a few PBs already in Pro ET, so it's going to happen.
We had PBs last weekend at a Run What You Brung. So it will come, but the higher horsepower, we need warmth and we need more preparation on the track. And to be honest, if we'd have just had 3 warm days last week, I think we'd have been so much.
You'd have been all right. It would have been a different story, to be honest with you. Yeah, even if we'd have been just down to today. To get one-shot qualifying and racing in, there's a very good chance.
Yes, you're right.
I mean, I think the thing is that your team and Santa Pod Racers Club, we've seen miracles happen so many times.
I know.
That
I know, but this is a new track, and you can't change what is a virgin track. And again, if we'd have just not had the rain Friday and Saturday and had time to run cars, do more prep, today would be a very different story.
Yeah, you bet. Well, I think it proves beyond a shadow of a doubt you guys would do everything within your power to get a race event done, even to the point where, okay, we can't run some of it, but you know what, we're going to run the rest of it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the jets as well, and the live action arena still running, and the circus and everything else as well.
Yeah, no, we're doing everything we can.
Yeah, that's a good point. The thing is, obviously, about the finals, we're going to run everything through as quickly as we always can. If it hadn't been for that incident, we would have been on a bit quicker. But obviously, we've got first rounds going on at the moment. But for the simple version is that because the turnaround times for all those cars and bikes as well are going to be quicker, then obviously there's a very good chance our program will be finished quicker than the schedule was today.
I mean,
not much quicker.
Not much quicker. I mean, I envisioned this morning that we may have even ended up running very late because at one point we thought some rain was going to come in, but at least we've not had the rain today.
Yeah.
But you know what? I will always, as I've said to some of the teams this weekend, Easter falls next year at April 20th. It doesn't mean it won't rain, but my God, you can be guaranteed the temperatures will be. And what this track here needs is temperature.
Well, the funny thing is, I actually, unfortunately, looked at the weather forecast for next weekend, and it's about 10, probably 12 degrees warmer next week. But ho hum.
Yeah, that's the story. If we had 10 or 12 degrees more, I wouldn't be up here talking now. I'd be down.
Yeah, enjoying the fuel cars and everything else as well. So the track crew are doing their thing as they have over and over again this weekend. Keith, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for trying your absolute damnedest again and again and again and again.
Thank you. Well, I'm just going to add thank you to all the spectators. Thank you for all your patience. Please do come back. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, you bet. And thank you all for sticking it out as well. We are going to hand back to Nitro FM just while they finish the last bit of clear up at the top end. And we'll be back with you, as in me and Colin will be back with you as soon as racing starts again.
Are the tool supplier choice at Pod Raceway. To be a winner, you have to trust your mechanic, and your mechanic has to trust his tools. For nearly 100 years, Draper has supplied quality tools and accessories to the professional mechanic. From spanners to hammers, sockets to screwdrivers, Draper tools have over 10,000 fully guaranteed parts to suit every task. And are proud to be tool supplier of choice for Santa Pod Raceway. But don't take our word for it. Our many tools every day.
came around quicker than this qualifying earlier, so I can only think he's going to try and catch Janet and then back off just before. Just in case you didn't hear me, folks, while we get a brief quiet moment, Jet Cars in and roundabout. Again, just in case they have the radios on in the car, because this is broadcast, we can't tell you who left the start line first or second, other than they both have, and they're both very even going towards the finish line. It looks like Georgina's actually out in front.
Hi there, Luke Stevenson here at Pod Raceway, checking out all the action. Hopefully you're enjoying the videos and the replays that we're giving you while we unfortunately have a
The question is, who won Top Fuel Dragsters Championship in 2017? Text the word POD to 6016. We'll carry on with George Michael.
Sponsored by the Dark Revenge.
Thank you very much indeed. Right then, we continue with eliminations in Sportsman ET. This is Laurie Anslow, who's supposed to, no, that's right, I say supposed to be, he's there. I saw him there, although he's parked up at the back, so unfortunately the driver is missing. So it's going to be a solo for Laurie Anslow. There she goes. Dialing in a 17.80. There goes 18.72. Takes the win. Next up then. There's the caddy taking the Sayat. Leaches and Brown. Actually, I think these two qualified alongside each other, actually. Roy Caballo, London in the Ibiza. Watch out for black smoke as it makes its way up. I'm pretty sure it's a 1.9 TDI, could be wrong. Getting close to the stripe, and it is! Yeah, the win going to Leaches and Brown there, 16.77. Guess who's at 16.27. John Crawford and Paul Day, pick your golf. Engine carbon clean version. Qualified number 8, don't forget it was one shot qualifying. Paul Day qualified in 15th. But this is all about the dial in now. 16.05 for John Crawford, 13 flat. Paul Day 3.05. Second head start for John Crawford. Oh, Paul Day goes red. So it is John Crawford that takes the win. But a 16.12, nice run actually. Just needs to work on his reaction times. 15.65 the dial in for the Sirocco. Into the auto glim lane. This is Polly Judge, qualifier. Let's see how close to 15.60 she can get. Good test and tune run if you like. 5 reaction time, that's the only time I'm going to read it for the solo. Heading up towards the stripe, what's she got?
15.93. Right, next up, Russ Weir taking on Mine 8 with the Golf Martin 1650, 1760 for Russ Weir.
Neither have been their normal race cars, of course.
Yeah, just for all you folks wandering around out there as well, we're just only a few runs away from seeing jet cars by the look of it. I'm only saying that because I'm looking behind me. And I can see him at the head of the lanes. Anyway, Russ Weir goes too quickly by 1 stinking hundredth of a second.
So the win light already on in Martin, 8th away. $16.69 or $16.50. Stickman. Way too soon.
Yeah, anytime you see Martin Hill wandering around with a hat on his fire suit, it's always a good sign. I wouldn't say it's a good look, but it's a good sign.
Paul Walklate and Simon Blackburn. Paul with the camper. And Simon Blackburn with the Monster Leon. 16.21 dial-in for Paul. And 13.30 for Simon.
You know what, honestly, it's like the chaos theory, isn't it, getting front wheel drive cars to hook up?
Yeah.
Because just weight transfer and everything. I know it can be done, and it can be done very well. Way out in front is Paul Yorgate, and way too quick is Paul Yorgate. Oh my goodness, he was there by 1 1/4 seconds ahead of Simon Blackburn. but he didn't need to be. He just needed to slow down a little bit. Anyway.
Well, if you thought that van was quick, this one's even quicker. 13.95 for Jason Turlock with the BJ Speed Drop Bus. 13.95, darling. Going alongside Holly Saunders, 15.35.
Isn't that hilarious that a modern day Audi TT, known for going like poo off a stick, is slower than an old
Oh, and Holly goes red.
T.
So Jason takes the win.
That thing don't half move, does
It
it?
does.
Well, he's going to run it all the way out the back door because it's not going to make a blind bit of difference.
14.40 against a 15.93, but Jason, as we go through to round 2. Right, Polly Judge has got Lee Chisholm-Brown in round 2. Martin Ayton will be taking on Paul Sarrett. Laurie Anslow will be taking on Simon Blackburn, and Jason Turner will be taking on John Crawford. Right, Joshua Simpson then, going to go through on a time trial. Not quite sure why he didn't take the match up with the Glorianto, unless he wasn't anywhere near the car when he was called forward.
Nowhere near the start line at the moment.
He's got staging with the back wheels at the
Yep. Rolling around behind the tower as well is the Rain of Fire, the mini jet funny car. Built for me, that one.
I do like that car.
Well, we're about
I
to
affectionately call it the Junior Jet, but there's nothing junior about the power plant. It still goes about 145 mile an hour when it gives a full go. But the Jet's just putting on a proper show for us today, I think.
I'm going to end up having a flood of responses now. I'm going to ask this question, but I think those bodies were made for junior funny cars, as in like junior dragsters, as in junior funny cars, and that one has been stretched or made to fit on the junior jet chassis, if you see what I mean. Still a very, very cool looking thing. Has that got a helicopter engine in that? Is that a little helicopter engine in that?
I'll tell you what, let me check the Bible, and I can tell you all about it.
What, Jesus had one, did he?
No, that's what the driver was shouting.
Fair enough.
Let's give you the information.
Let me check the Bible, see if there are any jet cars in there, shall I? Colin.
Oh dear. Lee Danick. It's a GBC mini jet funny car.
So he does call it a mini jet funny
Yep.
car then?
It's done 149 miles an hour, Flaming Thunder last year. So it is
Yeah,
no slow.
and all the things that we were talking about before about cold racetrack, everything else. These cars are actually thrust powered, not wheel powered, or wheel driven, I should say. So they don't suffer from any of the sort of cold track issues and everything else as well. This should be interesting. This time last year, Evie loved jet cars.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes today, shall
The
we?
interesting thing with this car, there is no external air intake, i.e. the body's not cut at all to let air into it. So
Maybe it just doesn't need the air. Well, it obviously doesn't need the airflow the bigger jet engines do.
yeah.
It's also a well, like what's a Gorix car? A
Yeah.
sensor drive jet car, isn't it? But then with a body that small, where else would you put it? So we're going to warm you up first with one of the junior jet brigade. It is a really nice, absolutely.
Yeah.
The funny thing is though, is when you see it in real life, you think, oh, I thought it'd be bigger than that.
But I say, don't let your eyes deceive you too much. It's a serious piece of equipment. This, I mean, knocking on the door of 150 miles an hour. You've done it very nicely indeed. This should warm everybody up a little bit.
Still makes about as much noise as a regular jet car, doesn't it?
So Lee Danick then with the rain of fire. And a nice little squirt to around about 200 feet out.
Please tell me you caught that, Dan.
And we stink of diesel fuel again. Yeah, it's still no quieter than a regular jet, is it?
Still very entertaining. We do like that.
Yeah, very much so. And rolling round underneath, we've still got a few jet cars to come. It's not just one. We've got them all lined up round here. We've got Roger Goring with Firestorm rolling round next. I'm very much looking forward to seeing Oklahoma Willie. That is a piece of work. I spent a lot of time checking out the website, how that was built, where it came from. It's an amazing piece of work, isn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously not forgetting the man himself, Mr. Marty Hill with Fire Force as well. So good to see Helen and Roger back again. Seems like forever, actually. Now this is a full-on, full-spec jet car. Centre drive jet car as well, which is most unusual. What we mean by that is, you see Martin Hill's car come around in a minute. The jet sits in the centre of the car, the driver sits off to the left. However, the way that Roger Goring's car is built, he sits in the middle of it with the jet behind it. There's a few subtle differences. It's a little difficult to spot unless you see them sitting there side by side. There's a very clever body length on the car that's gone on to accommodate the extra length of the fact that Roger's sitting in front of the jet. However, it still does look a real piece of work. It's a very, very nice looking modern day Mustang body on Firestorm. Roger was part of the show at the Nitro Olympics last summer down there in Germany. I think he finished off the show with Martin towards the end of the evening.
As you said, Darren, it's so nice to see the team back here. It was quite a few years ago since we last commentated on this guy. But it's a great to have back.
Yeah, but very slow building process for this car, but it's definitely worth it. Like I said, good to see Roger and Helen back.
Well, Helen was almost prided herself when she said to me, she said, "We don't have any sponsorship problems."
We don't have any.
So it was one of those things. But they weren't going to go, let's just say, go totally broke into the car. They did it at their own pace and totally the right thing to do.
So, Roger and Helen, the Firestorm team.
Nice to have you back, Rog.
Yep. That's really rattling the windows up here, actually. So, well, indeed, Roger doing a nice little flame show for us there. But as we know, it's just a little bit of a flame and fire show here on the start line. No full ball runs for the Jets today. But you know that car is capable of going low six. I'll tell you what, I don't think he's that far away from the 5-second pass with that car.
I think he was far away with it previously, wasn't he?
Yeah, he wasn't.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
Right, okay. Apologies. But, well on there, Rog.
Yep, good to have you back. The whole of the Firestorm team, warm your hands, give them a round of applause, please. They've been sitting there for the last 3 days like everybody else, waiting to put on a show for you. Up next, we've got... now this is really a piece of work, this.
Yeah,
Perry. You've got to check this out. This is called... it's not a jet car, is it?
Jet bus.
Jet pickup.
Yeah. VW bus, VW.
The story of this is awesome. It's called Oklahoma Willie. And it's because it was exported to Oklahoma in the 50s, 1958, I think, when it was just a regular VW, to work on a farm. Imported back over here. So it still has a VW engine in it and everything else as well. However, there's one distinct difference.
It's got a crate motor on it.
Yes.
Actually, Perry does quite a lot of publicity work with this. This actually was on the One Show about a month ago as part of a feature that they were doing, and he parked it in a way that every time they were in the studio, he was the backdrop to it. It was absolutely brilliant. So he does drive it around.
He's built all kinds of different things as well.
He's built the Flatmobile.
That's right.
Very talented engineer.
It's a work of art as well, isn't it? Absolutely.
I think a lot of the parts came from Volkswagen Heritage or something to get this thing absolutely spot on.
Anyway, it was imported back into Europe, back into the UK by Perry, and turned into what you see out there, which is just outstanding. Check out oklahomawillie.co.uk, the website. The link is on Euro Dragster. It's just amazing to see what he's done with it, how long it's taken. Some of the work he's done as well, like I think it's a computer-controlled afterburner, isn't it, or something like that? Yeah, it really is. You've got to check it out. It's amazing.
Here today.
It certainly smells like a jet, not a VW.
And exactly to 330 feet now, I think, for Oklahoma Willie.
Yeah, it was never built to go that quick, that fast, or anything like that, was it? Definitely not.
Well, he still went to the 8 in 9 seconds, 77, and shut it off well early.
He needs to enter that in VW Sportsman. Seriously, why not? Or VW Pro even. That would be the coolest thing in the world. Having a jet VW entered into eliminations in VW Pro. Luke, make it happen.
All right, well, another jet coming up.
It is indeed. Julian Webb with the Dragster. To be followed by Monson Hill with 5 balls. Unfortunately, This is a little taste of what you should have been seeing over the last few days.
Yeah.
I say unfortunately, but it really is unfortunately. We were due to match him up and run them loads of times over the last couple of days. However, the weather's put paid to that, so we just have to do the best we can, and they are doing the best they can to put on a show for you. So Julian from up north, really very, very nicely turned out, split second. That's a lot of match racing against Martin Hill, doesn't he, with Fire Force 5?
Well, don't forget, Julian had to go in Fire Force 5 as well.
Oh, he did, while Martin was off in Norway, wasn't it, I think? He was doing it at a show up at, I think it might have been up at Hell in Norway or somewhere similar.
Was it Bahrain or something?
It was Bahrain.
Yeah.
But he also did a show up in Norway as well, didn't he? On a circuit up in Norway. And Iceland, yeah. He ran the quickest run ever in Iceland and ran very quickly because the weather was so good for it as well, as I seem to remember. Yeah, he's been about with the car, hasn't he? Yeah. Shall we say. So attention turns to Julian Webb with the Dragster for the moment. And right behind him is Martin Hill with Fire Force 3.
So we get lots more eliminations to come. We've still got round one of 850 bike and 950 bike. We've got a continuation, Sportsman ET Junior Dragster and VW Sportsman. Okay, this weekend has just been the ultimate challenge, but going forward, this
it'll be good.
It's going to be amazing. It really
well, I'm back here in about 8 weeks. How long are you? When are you back?
Big Bang.
2 weeks time. Is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks? 3 weeks.
3 weeks time.
So jet number 3 of the day, I think. Is that right? I've lost count. No, 4.
This is number 4.
That's a lot warmer.
Oh, that's lovely. So Julian Webb then with split second. We're back to 330.
Well, Julian off and running with a nice pass. Cruises on through to a 678, 205 miles an hour.
Come on, let's give him a round of applause. Julian Webb the first to go over 200 miles an hour
off and running with a nice pass.
And
run 6 seconds on through. And shut it off about 8th mile by the look of that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So, well, it was a good run. That was a lot quicker than I thought he was going to go, actually.
That was a really good run. They must have had it turned up for that. I mean, I'm not kidding. He really did
been
turn that off early.
Yeah, he did click it just after half track. He's only been 650 on the full quarter before. That sounded really aggressive as well. So I think they've done a lot of work on that jet.
I think what it was, reading between the lines, Julian enjoyed driving the other car so much that went quicker.
Yeah.
He went back home and went, right, let's have a play with that. Make it go
He's
quicker.
going to be looking at that timing slip and go, yeah. I think he's going to be quite happy with that.
It's not bad at all.
Very good indeed. Very good run indeed. 678.205.
Yeah, Todd just pointed out very correctly that the chilly air jets love as
Yes.
well.
Oh, yeah.
The quickest and fastest jet runs we've ever seen here at this racetrack have always been in freezing cold weather around about this time of year. Martin Hill with the world's fastest jet funny car, which is underneath us right now. 338 miles an hour or thereabouts. Please don't expect that today, folks. Maybe taking it slightly easier than that. But yeah, it's to the point where, and the same with the dragster as well. I mean, the dragster went down in the 5.0s and he clipped that well before the finish line as well, didn't he? To the point where all the Americans said, no, that can't be right. There must be something wrong here. No, there's nothing wrong. Number one, Martin and the team are just that good. Number two, the conditions are fantastic as well. So put those two together and you get incredibly quick and fast runs. Just because we're American doesn't mean we can't do it, or do it better even. But there we go. Anyway, so Martin with the house jet car here at Santapod.
Yeah, and looks resplendent in its new paint. And the van has actually been painted as well. It looks very, very good indeed. Though if he didn't tell you, you might not spot it, but it really has had a winter makeover. And looking very nice for the new season indeed. So just getting everything into position. The last of our jet cars is going to be putting a run in. I'd be very interested to get a reaction out of Julian Webb as to what his thoughts were on that. I'll have to wait for another day. Don't forget, coming up, we still have 850 bike round one, 950 bike round one, which in effect is quarters down to semis. Junior Dragster, I believe, are lined up.
They are indeed.
Yeah, and Sportsman ET as well. But first up, then, Martin Hill with Fire Force 3. We're certainly going to get the full flame show from him.
The full whack. I mean, the only way I can always describe this jet car to people compared to the others is just much more vicious. Is it not?
Well, I thought Julian was pretty vicious.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Let's just say that Roger Goring with Firestorm. He's going to be one to really entertain us as the season progresses. So, yeah, they might have everything his own way. Certainly a sign of things to come. Looking at the top of the banking, everybody nicely in a row up there. You can imagine filling up that banking when it comes to the big meetings and all the grass has grown. It's going to look fantastic.
The grass looks like it's nearly there anyway.
It's got very close to the
rain's trying to do its best to wash all the grass in off. Yeah, a couple of weeks of warm weather and that'll take off like my back garden. I think.
Sun trying to make an appearance as well.
Steady.
And Martin instantly shut the jet down there. But certainly very, very aggressive on the afterburner blips there. So what a show of the jets that we have had today. And just pushing the jet mounts out there. So many thanks indeed to all of our jet pilots this weekend. Lee Rennick with the rain of fire we've seen it.
Julian Webb with the quickest and fastest run so far.
Yeah, for the first 200 miles an hour on our new racetrack. Fantastic turn on nice to. But Perry with Oklahoma Willie, that was really, really cool. Swimming Willie's 5-3. Take it back.
Still a little bit of a bonfire going on the back of it. Yeah, they know what they're doing though. Anyway, we're about to get back into eliminations. We've got Sportsman ET round 2 round there. You've got all the bikes too. Like you said, Colin Jr. Still makes about as much noise as a regular. Running,
It was good. Oh.
Still 1-0 to me.
It's still 1-0.
Because you know, the one I'm never going to get, you still don't know the answer to.
I know, I can't believe I can't get a name. What's her initials? Oh, Fleur East, yeah. Play that jazz. No, love the sax, hate the sax. All that sax. It's just sax. Oh. I'm not even going to get half a point for that.
No, you're not, mate.
Oh,
There's too much prompting going on.
I
Failed.
think we need to do just one more.
Okay.
Right.
Even I knew that then.
Was that Fleur East by any chance?
You sure you just haven't left the oven on?
There's people out there who don't really know the answer.
Can they please text me? Let me know.
Yeah, exactly. Please text in as quick as you can. They've got a clue.
I got a clue.
You need to play songs from that era. That's the problem. Hence, I got AC/DC straight away.
Probably is. Oh.
No, I don't know. Full stop. I'm proud to say. However, Colin is going to just struggle with himself.
The Bell is a hell of a long way away.
The nicest is, that was one of the questions we had over the weekend. That's how people have won Easter eggs. That one was white noise by disclosure.
I wouldn't have got that.
No.
Never in a million years would I have got that one.
Guy, we'll do one more then. Hopefully the two of you can go on this one.
We're just rubbish, aren't we? We are just absolutely rubbish.
It's embarrassing.
Is this? It's someone like Gary Moore. There's people yelling at us. Is this Go West? Is this Give Up?
Dave went 10.07. Craig went 16.72. He just wanted to get run down the track. But here we go.
Whoa!
Dave Bow with big.
Looking over his shoulder as well. Sitting up and running 9.63.
Nice one there for David.
That's why he came number 2 in the championship. 03 light and a very nice run. 10.17 for Craig as a lose out.
Just to show our difference in genre of music that we like. I mean, you got that first track instantly, and I thought, how did you get that? Well, there you go.
It's just too easy.
Yeah. Very well done. Stacey Reed and Phil Harrison up next.
In fact, it remains the only one that either of us has got. That's the really sad part out of 4.
Flurries just would not.
It's not like I beat you 1-0. It's just like we were so rubbish. I only got one between us.
Oh dear.
Stacey Reed, I tell you what, Smashy and Pricey doing that would have had it, wouldn't they?
Oh.
Well, they're saying that Don used to be a DJ, so he probably would have got a couple. Yeah, Stacey Reed.
Alright, no Philip Harrison. Oh, that's the one, yeah, he coasted to the finish line, didn't have a run. But Stacey to go into round 2. Oh, she's taking the green. That's a win.
I think you'd have preferred to make a run out of it, though.
Yeah. Not her best 60 foot ever, 8.69.
I think I don't quite get that because her dad wears a tutu and so does Stacey.
Yeah.
Surely Stacey should wear a pair of shorts or something over hers, over her leathers instead.
Right, Leo Lester and Lewis Burgess. Leo qualified number 3 spot, Lewis number 6. Qualifying times mean nothing, it's all about 9.50 now. Leo in the coal fire lane and Lewis, he is in the auto glim lane.
Whoop!
Both of them hop, skip and a jump off the line.
That's what you call up, not forwards.
Yep. Lewis
Still not giving it up though.
988 takes the win.
To a 9.95. Leo Lester did everything he possibly could then.
And Rit Sawatsky, number 1 qualifier, gets a solo. No, he ran a 9.73 in qualifying. So the defence of the number 1 starts right here. It's the first rider I've ever seen change gears with his knees. 968.
141. Just noticed as he was going up the racetrack there, it's really weird to see a reflection. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
There's actually like 2 bikes racing each other, one underneath the other.
Right, must be 8.55 up next. Oh, or is it time trial? I do apologise. Ah, this is Philip Harrison then. And the only reason I can think of with this, and also the Team Militia Sirocco is that they were not fully licensed to race, so
Possibly.
they only had one.
Hence the
qualifying
fact
shot.
it's a time trial, yeah.
So I think that's probably why that they're on time trial, not in actual eliminations, because they only got one shot qualifying, which wasn't obviously enough to do sign off on their race licenses. A normal weekend they were. Right, so it is on to 850 Mike. Now that should be number one qualifier Ian Critchlow, indeed it is. Went 8.52, first hit on the track of the weekend, and just 200ths off his index, so very, very good run indeed. Now he wants to take number one off Jake Michel at the end of the season. Well, this is where he starts to work on his championship campaign.
Well, it's a bye run, so he can let it all hang out. And he does. 8:48, 161.
So this is the important one. Jake Michel and Josh Stubbins. Whoever gets this obviously goes into the semis, where they get a bye into the final. So 2 round wins on the line here. 2 qualified Jake Michel, number 4 qualified Josh Stubbins. Jake qualified with an 8.54.
Josh with a visible jump off the start line, but Jake's got that made up. Jake's actually in front by the look of it. Who's going to be the bravest? It is Jake. Oh, wow, what a race. 8.53 takes out an 8.66. Josh Stubbins was off the start line first by a couple of hundredths of second, but Jake Michel proves why he's number one. Exceptionally tough to beat.
Big burn out there for Yannick Rickard, matching up against Jay Rowe. Jay qualified with an 8.67 on that one shot.
So Yannick was the number 5 qualifier in the 10s. He's been knocking a good second and a half off that to be anywhere close to Jay Rowe. Jay Rowe is long gone and looking over his shoulder before he even gets to half track, actually. 8.62, possibly closer than he would like, but there we go. 10.97 for Yannick Richard.
Only 131 miles an hour as well.
Jay Rowe is long gone and looking over his shoulder before he even gets to half track, actually. Checking it out. 8.62, big spill, possibly closer than he was last year on the funny bike, if you remember. So Bradley Head. Well, it's TT bike, and only one bike has actually turned out for qualifying and eliminations, which is Bradley Head. Everybody else appears to have not made it down for whatever reason. So it will be Bradley Head, number 1 qualifier and event win.
Only one Super Twin top gas machine as well. This is Jack Shook. We went 10.06 before.
10.10, 132.
Consistent. Right, let's have a look. We've got
Sportsman ET.
ET round 2. this should be an interesting matchup. You got the Camaro taking on Crossfire.
Now he's dialed. Jack Petley's dialed in a much more sensible 13 flat this time round.
Well, he had to because he got Jack Petley for company.
Yeah, but Adam's still run quicker than that, so he's still going to have to back off no matter what.
Oh, Jack goes red.
Well, he's not. Well, Jack goes red by 700th, but Adam with a calendar reaction time of 0.36.
12.80.
Yeah, and he runs 12.78 again, so, well, they both break out. Doesn't matter, though, when you leave a red light on the start line. So, John McCarrigal from Newport with the Hyundai. Can't imagine that's a DVLA legal number plate, can you? If it is...
Spet 77.
Exactly. Why would it not be? 18.85 and up against Dibs, Andy Dibley, 13.65. Over 5 second head start for the little red Hyundai.
Well, it put the Aston away round one, but that was due to a red light. Just goes to show you can run absolutely anything you like. So Andy Dibley in catch-up mode.
A couple of little chirrups at the tyre as well. He's gonna get there, I think.
Squeaker, it's a squeaker. Oh no!
My goodness, on a hole shot.
Yeah.
John McCarrigal takes the win by 0.04 of a second. A very uncharacteristically late 0.29 light that time from Andy Dibley. A 0.21 for John McCarrigal was the difference at the finish line.
Wow. Giant killer is our John. Let's have a look there. Chris Barnes and Kirsty Tram. Chris dialing in 1570, Kirsty 1538. Well, Kirsty already ahead. Chris.
Yeah, almost by the time they go past the tree, actually.
It is. Well, you can tell by the cheer then. Kirsty takes the win.
On a fairly sizable hole shot as well, actually.
A 0.5.
Yeah, with margin of 0.14, but a 0.5 to a light to a 0.29 was what did that one. Obviously had lots of Weetabix this morning.
Now she races the Hyundai next round, actually, does Kirsty.
She races
the Hyundai of John. Right.
Well, that. So Felicity Gibbs and Spencer Tram Flick in the qualifying lane, 17.18, 16.55 for Spence.
2 round wins available here as there's a bye in the next round.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to be a green light, but it was. I think Spencer's already caught her, actually. And gone past her by the looks of it, but at the top end it is... The computer's working it out, actually, because that's going to be very close. It's Felicity.
Wow.
Win margin of 0.14, a massive 3.5 tenths of a second hole shot to Spencer. I can only think he backed out of it a bit at the top end, and that was the difference.
5.01 of a second. Wow. Last pair, Mark Huxley and Holly Walters. 17.75 for the Mustang, 15.15 for the Comet.
Having trouble hooking up off the start line there for Mark Huxley, but he's still trying to run Holly down. There's been lots of young ladies doing very well today in eliminations, full stop. Oh, look at that, it is Mark. Look at the win margin as well, 0.005. That will go down as a whole shot win, and a big whole shot win as well, over 1/10 of a second off the start line, and that made the difference at the finish line. He ran a slower elapsed time, or further off his dialing I should say, but got the win.
Right, on to Junior Dragster. Next round then, Caitlin Wilson taking on Liam McDonald.
This will place in quarterfinals. There was still enough qualified to make it. Oh, that's good.
$12.60 darling for Liam.
Last race was 8 inches. That was very close anyway. Very, very good. Yep, so Caitlin against Liam. Liam lining up on the inside of the auto glim lane. Caitlin doing the same. That's one thing we don't normally see here in the UK actually. They still line up in the groove.
Yeah.
Obviously not so today. Liam's deep staged, which means he's slightly closer to red lighting. However, he doesn't red light. So Caitlin with the weight. She doesn't red light either. Liam's still out in front. Pulling the parachute. Liam does not take the win. Look at that from Caitlin. Quicker reaction time and only a couple of hundredths of a second off.
Very well judged indeed.
And everybody's good friends down here on the start line, which is all behind the start line, which is always good to see. Very happy Mrs. Wilson again.
Right then, next pair. Jordan taking on Frankie Fordham. It's Jordan Payne. Jordan, I can't remember where Jordan actually qualified. He's in the number 4 spot actually. And Frankie qualified number 9. Zero limits machine in the auto glim lane. And the sticky situation junior dragster in the qualifier lane. 8.03 against 8.90. Head start going to the auto glim lane.
Gonna be a good race. Frankie's out in front. Jordan Payne run him down. That's close. The answer I think is no. It's Jordan. Oh, massive breakout for Frankie Fordham. He was there by a quarter of a second first.
600s in the bag on reaction.
Yeah, he had a whole shot as well. But it is Jordan Payne moving on. So two very newly painted junior dragsters, Sky Collier with the Collier family car down here in the auto glim lane, 8.40. When I say family, that's her dad, Jerry, holding the tuning wand, and her mum.
Two very good looking cars there.
Sharon holding the dialing board. Yeah, taking on Matthew Dowdy with his dad, bringing him into stage. So there we go. A couple of family days out. Still get a feeling this might be in my near future. I was hoping, I could see her looking out the window actually, so I was hoping she would be watching these, but never mind. I keep telling her as well, these aren't real kids, they're stunt drivers. You can't get in one yourself.
Yeah, but now she says, Daddy, I want to be a stunt driver.
It's called shoot yourself in the foot, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
Well, Matthew Dowdy off the start line first. Not just because of the dialing either. Matthew breaks out and Sky takes the win. My goodness me, Matthew Dowdy.
He lifted as well.
He really did throw that one away, unfortunately. Bit lucky though, but I'm sure the Colliers will take it. Dad Jerry very happy indeed, as always.
8.68.
Well, he was bang on the start line.
Yeah.
He was bang on his dialing, just slightly the wrong side. Just backed off that. He had a huge advantage. Look, nearly a second. Oh, that one's going to make harsh reading a bit later on.
Well, that's racing. That's the way
Harley
it goes.
Coulsell. I would say we've all done it, but I've never bracket raced. Have you broken out?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Against Dave Cherrett, didn't I? My first ever race. Dialed in 11.77, went 11.76 with a 9.
Oh, yeah.
Dear, oh dear.
Yeah, welcome to racing.
Yeah.
So Harley Coulsell, 10.23, Coalfire Lane. Going to be going first. There he goes. Taking on Lottie Bradford. That car sounded like it stuttered off the start line.
Bogged down a little bit.
But I think she's got there.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, it's Harley with the lesser of the breakouts.
Yeah.
Harley Coulsell moving on. They were both pretty even off the start line, but even with the bog off the start line, Lottie Bradford still went way too quick.
Right, Joe Holland-Villa taking on Thomas Cook Abbott. Thomas Cook Abbott went 006 off the line in quali. He went 002 in round 1 on his solo.
Yeah, there's only one way to go from there.
Yeah.
Alas.
Certainly on form, that's for sure, but don't want to be cutting it that fine now.
It's got to be a good day when Marshall's handing out sweets. You noticed that?
8:37.
Do you think they're old enough to be accepting sweets from a strange man? I hope so. Here we go then. Placing round 3 awaits.
And Jordan Payne takes on the winner of these two.
Well, they're both looking at each other to go into stage first. It is Thomas that goes in. No red lights, and no advantage to either driver. Someone's backing off. They're both backing off. Oh. My goodness me, that was
0.02 of a second.
Yeah, Thomas Cook Abbott. They both had 0.8 lights, but just a slightly better driving job at the finish line. Was to Thomas. So Holly gets a bye run.
Yeah, that's courtesy of the way the ladder worked out. So matchups then. There's only 6 of them left. Thomas Cook Abbott will be taking on Jordan Payne. Holly Marshall here will be taking on Sky Collier. And Harley Corsell will be taking on Caitlin Wilson. The winner of that gets a bye into the final.
If you can hear me down there, well done, Mark. I bet your lad's going to be very excited after that one. I think, yeah, the only normal championship contender I think you would expect to be going through is Jordan Payne, actually.
No, Thomas Cook Abbott.
I beg your pardon, sorry, apologies.
Thomas Cook Abbott as well. And I'll tell you what, Holly certainly came.
That's in normal years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do not discount Caitlin Wilson at your peril. I mean, these kids know how to drive.
That sounds like a Turbo Junior Dragster, that, because it's so quiet, doesn't it?
Have a word with Dan.
787, 100. Sorry, 100. That wasn't 100 miles.
Turn it
Don't
back
have a
a
heart
bit,
attack. 80 miles an hour that was. So back to VW Sportsman. And we got the Monster Leon. For placing the semis, this is.
It is, yeah.
Round of 8.
Right, Laurie Anslow taking on Simon Blackburn. So the Lady Baja machine not quite ready to come out and play just yet, so they're in the Skoda. Monster Leon though. Proper setup on that one. 30.5 seconds, that's quick. It's been a big head start to the Skoda as well actually. Off it goes. 5.2 seconds later.
And a bit. Sorry, should have said that, but yeah. 5.2 and a bit seconds later. Wow, Laurie's way out there in front and she takes it. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Bang on the numbers there, 780.
Way quicker reaction time and bang on the money. Brilliant stuff.
Well, I hope we get to see the Lady Baja machine
That
back
was,
out at some stage.
that was the most excited I've seen, Jason. Probably ever. You will be back. Excellent. Good stuff.
Lee Chisholm-Brown and Polly Judge in competition round 2. Facing the semis there. Lee Darcy 16.60, Polly 15.65. So just 0.9 second between them on the tree. But what's the gap going to be in the finish? If these can get there first, well, we're going to find out in a few moments. He's just going on a sponsored walk up to the
I was just thinking that he's gone for a walk with his broom or squeegee. I can only think that something was trailing out of the car. We've had a few cars that have launched today, and we've had water, unsurprisingly, trickle out of the exhaust pipe.
Ian's approaching 400 feet now, I think.
We should have timed this.
Yeah. He's still going. He's just pushing them both back actually, so I'm going to imagine they're going to get their tractors around and let's give it a quick sled. Right, well obviously we're going to be down just for a few moments. I wonder. I was going to say we're going to do this beat this intro again. Has Nicky got another match like
It's not going to happen.
It's going to be too
unless Nicky's lined up something incredible, or incredibly easy, I should say. Unless she's lined up the national anthem.
And then we got to guess the country. We wouldn't stand a chance. No,
don't please, no. Forget it. Excuse me, 2 seconds.
I've got a song for you in minutes, we'll see. But before we do that, we just did a competition earlier on, so we just thought we'd give you one last chance, because maybe I wasn't quite as specific as I should have been on the question. So, who won the FIA Top Fuel Dragster Championship in 2017? Now, I know a lot of people turned round and they obviously watch all the NHRA stuff. Yeah, great, but we wanted to know what was going on in Europe. So, once again, who won FIA Top Fuel Dragster?
Can I enter it?
You haven't got a Top Fuel license anymore. What are you on about?
Yeah, fair enough. I've just got an urgent message before you do that from Carol, our race director, to Paul Seeley. Sorry you didn't make it this weekend, but man up, I think that was. I don't think we like the chilly weather, something like that anyway. But anyway, that was a very urgent message from our race director, so I dare not read it out. Carry on, sorry.
Text your answer to 60163. We will do one song and we will also do one question. Is Colin still up there?
Yes, I'm here.
Is it?
So we're going to do one competition between the two of you to see.
Jack goes red.
Well, he's not. Jack goes red by 700. Calendar reaction time of 436. I didn't think that was the green light, it was. Top ended with margin 0-1. There's been lots of young ladies doing very well today, but the win light is all that matters. Yeah, you got it.
Next pair then.
Good afternoon, Luke Stevenson here at Santa Pod Raceway, the Festival of Power. Right, we've got a little bit of downtime on our track at the moment, so we're just going to end the feed for a few seconds, but make sure you have hit that subscribe button. In a few minutes time we're going to be back online, and make sure you get that notification. We'll catch you in a couple of minutes.
Paul's going to catch him, and 1691 takes the win, so Martin Ayton takes the win. Right, last pair, Jason taking on John. This is Jason.